Okay, I got a little box from Queen of Squids. I'm going to open it now. I'm warn you, I just had dinner, so I'm a little tired because I get tired when I digest food. Nothing you needed to know, but just a warning. No idea at all what's in this, but it's from Queen of Squids, so it's probably good. I see vintage already. Very vintage. Just like these hands so much. Nice delicate face paint though. I think if I didn't have this exact doll as a kid, I had one close, at least the swimsuit. The swimsuit is striking me, it's extremely familiar. Except the one I remember having as a kid, it was all runs and ladders. I don't remember the flower on it. I just remember the heavily textured red knit that, like I said, it just ran and laddered and was in such bad shape. I have had clone dolls with this head sculpt in the past. I think it's a Dolican knockoff, I'm not sure. But the current one I have has no hair, and I have not been able to convince myself to give her hair, so it'll be nice to have this one with hair. I have plenty of bodies. Yeah, those hands are pretty bad. Ew, what's her face? With a little bit of drawing on it. I can't tell if that's permanent marker that stained it. I know how to unstain it if it is, or if it's just hasn't been wiped off. No, it just hasn't been wiped off. So yes. I guess I can't remember that. I don't remember them having the blush painted on, but it seems to have been painted on, which is actually very funny. Hold on, the hair elastic just disintegrated because it is 20-some years old. Anyway, we have a what's-her-face. I have had and lost and gotten rid of what's-her-faces in the past because I couldn't, because body issues, but I think I have some more modern bodies in the right skin tone. That isn't nice with what's-her-face being Mattel. The skin tone is pretty Mattel standard. And of course I have other wigs. Hook-and-loop tape. I mean, they were a pretty solid doll. Mattel knew that doll customizing was a rising thing in the early 2000s. It's just the average consumer did not. So then we get these faceless, featureless dolls that I think kind of creeped most people out. But, you know, people like us, we like the weird. Jam and Glam Christie. I have Jam and Glam Barbie as my prime example of the Barbie 1999 Generation Girl Barbie sculpt. I like it because it is a little bit smaller even than Generation Girl was at the start. And so even though I do have some Asha sculpts like this, yeah, she's probably going to become my main Asha sculpt. If you don't know about the Jam and Glam dolls, they basically stole the gimmick from Tuesday Taylor and Tiffany Taylor by Ideal in the 70s. You have hair that is on a scalp that spins. So in theory, you can have two different hairstyles. But in practice, all the plastics for the hair just kind of deform over time to favor the shape of whichever one was on top. So, and the thing is, I recently freed up some bodies that are pretty close. Not perfect because, again, Mattel's skin tones have stayed fairly consistent, but not perfectly consistent, but it's close. One of these bodies doesn't have knees. I'll probably add knees to it at some point, but I mean, she'll probably go right onto this the Barbie InStyle body, who has also articulated ankles. It's not super articulated. I'm actually not fond of the Made to Move body because I've seen that level of articulation done more cleanly in action figures and Japanese dolls. So that's just my little quibble with it. My little quibble. And a chair. Disassembled. It is very cute. I've used this for chairs. Thank you. Yeah, it's not really my thing that it says Lullaby Baby on it, but that would be hidden by the doll itself. There's a sticker on the bottom that says Made in Taiwan in a very fancy font. A fabulous vintage craft doll head. And the hair actually feels like a pretty nice fiber for what this is. LOL tween bodies, which are great little bodies. I literally just made a joke within the last hour with Queen of Squids about having a use for tiny little bodies like this in a playset that Queen of Squids is trying to resist buying. So, just shout out to you for that. Oh, another fantastic. It's got some sticky in her hair. I don't know if this is a craft doll head, but it's definitely a Hong Kong clone doll head. With, as they say, eyeliner sharp enough to kill a man. But it's not, because it was printed so badly. And yes, variations on this golden, orangey yellow were very common in those 1960s through 70s Hong Kong clone dolls. And then I see the new Rainbow Bright, her stuff, herself, and a lovely little dress crocheted by Queen of Squids, who crochets all sorts of lovely, delicate little things. I have not handled this body before, so this will answer questions. And yeah, those are some big feet. Is that really all that would move? That's easy enough to fix. So easy that it should have been fixed when they designed the body. And just for the record, that's not quite the same as the 70s colors. And then I see things. See wonderful vintage buttons. You notice how the dolls, I always have a problem getting them right centered in the screen, in the video frame. You know, see the buttons, I pop right in the middle. As much as I love dolls, my heart really does lie with sewing and sewing accessories, and those colors together are fantastic. And so, you know I'm going to keep these. I mean, I might actually use them. I do use vintage stuff, but the cards are great too. The belt buckle. The only white belt buckles I have like this actually are like star-shaped. They're very, I won't say impractical, very distinct, so it would be nice to have the option of being able to use that. I'm distracted. Another of Queen of Squids crochet dresses. It says fits LOLOMG, which means will actually fit other dolls that you don't think are that size, like Monster High, Vintage Amigo, have Planet of the Apes Zero somewhere. The lengths are a little off, but there were some bloomers. Okay, trying not to let my brain run around. Yeah, I see something in here that I should have expected, but I didn't. But I'll get to it. All right. Fabulous vintage fabrics. Queen of Squids finds very good, fabulous vintage fabrics. Of course, some of those I'm already thinking about putting together. LOLOMG stuff, question mark, probably. Most of my OMGs came to me naked. So having real LOL OMG clothes is kind of a novelty for me. And of course, like I kind of just said, I will be putting them on every other body that they will even vaguely possibly fit, just to see if they do, because that is one of my favorite things about fashion dolls is, you know, to borrow a term of pop culture, crossing the streams, mixing things together, seeing if the world ends or if it turns out cool. Okay, this was on the what's your face? I don't, can you even see what I'm doing? I have the camera at a weird angle, don't I? It looked fine before I put the box down. It's squarely on the top of the trunk. As I found her, still has wooden shoes, but so sticky. I've stuck to worse dolls. Okay, I did know this was in here because I was sent an apology because apparently Queen of Squids made something from this fabric and it ran madly. So yeah, it does like the ladder. I think I can work with it. I know Queen of Squids made tights out of it and didn't really work for that. But there's enough here to experiment with, and it's a double knit, so it's actually kind of thick. In the picture I was shown, it looked very delicate. It's much sturdier than I thought. Yeah, I think I can work with it when I get ideas. And then the thing I really should have expected, but I didn't because I don't hope for things, is Queen of Squids has been experimenting with 3D modeling and creating ridiculously cute, vintage inspired head based on, if you know much about vintage kitsch, you will know about Meyer cord decals, which are just ridiculously cute little animals that they look like plush animals, but they probably were made specifically for the decals. And, you know, if you photograph them from any other angle than the photos taken for the decals, they would probably be nothing but a mess of, like, loose threads and cut edges and wads of glue. But the angles that they're taken, they're very cute. And okay. I didn't, when I got the message that I was getting a package from Queen of Squids, like I said, I honestly did not think about the possibility of getting this. And I got that message on, sent me the message on March 14th that I had a box incoming. Like I said, did not think about the possibility of getting this. On March 13th, we went to McKay's. I didn't get much, but I did get, for no reason other than it was a shadow high body. And you never know when you're going to need a fantasy skin tone body. I got Luna. Randomly got, just because it was there, the near perfect skin tone match for this head that I had no idea I was going to get and wasn't even sent out to me until the day after I got the doll. So, thank you, Queen of Squids. You are amazing. So what's not so amazing is me and the fact that I managed to break the Meyer cord pony head within an hour of opening that box. I was trying to put something into the slot for the mane, and I thought, wow, I didn't realize this resin was that flexible. And then I realized it's not. There's a huge crack now running from the back all the way around to the cheek. I can fix this. I know how to fix this. I just haven't fixed it yet. And I've also got some ideas that I want to try that require modifying this. So I'm not sure when I will get this tended to, because I'm not really in a big doll modification mood right now. I'm sewing. I'm still sewing things. But yeah, that's just a little follow-up on this, and why you're not going to see this on my social medias anywhere soon, because I am clumsy. And but like I said, I can fix this. I just haven't yet, but I will. It's still amazing, despite me.